You know, the focus of the movie is the challenge indigenous people across time and across land and countries experience, having their natural resources taken. And it was a clear focus on the experience indigenous people have had since the beginning of time with white supremacy and white supremacist acts and values. And so that's just an example, I think, of how all of us can and should carve out some time this week in your own unique way to think through our own implicit bias, because we all have it, as well as have conversations at a very personal level. You know, when we say that person is a racist, that was a racist act, hate crimes, I think people visualize the furthest end of the spectrum. We visualize the attack on Paul Pelosi. We visualize the anti-Semitic comics seen over the freeway and made by public figures. We visualize the racist video that circulated recently at Torrance High School. That's the end of the spectrum. But it is a spectrum, and we all have an opportunity to address it and learn how to address it. I was thrilled to partner with the commission 2 weeks ago in going through your bystander training, because we all have to be prepared and have a toolkit that meets us to meet and address the spectrum head on. As I said during the bystander training, it occurred to me as I was learning these strategies and techniques and thinking through, as the training required of us, if you were confronted in this situation, what would you do? I think in many instances we're all shocked and we resort to pearl clutching and statements about, oh, that's horrible, as opposed to really understanding what we can and should do in the moment to support the victim and confront, quite frankly, the oppressor. And so this week is an opportunity for us all to think through, to go to the website, receive tools that we can incorporate into our daily lives, share with our family, friends, and neighbors, to really have a meaningful conversation about what it means to be a proactive anti-racist. The release of the Commission's annual hate crime report will confirm what we've been experiencing, which is tragically a historic increase in hate crime across one of the most diverse counties in the country, a county with the largest Native American population of any county in the nation, a county with the largest Armenian population outside of Armenia, a county with the largest Iranian population outside of Iran, a county in which at least 224 identified languages are spoken on a daily basis. We can and must, my fellow Angelenos, be proactive and do something about it. The United Against Hate Week provides opportunities for every resident to get involved, show our strength, and take a real stand against hate. You've heard Robin say you can participate in a webinar, social media, attend a movie screening, complete an art project, or attend a community dialogue or mediation gathering. Or you can do what's sometimes the hardest. You can have the conversation around the dinner table. You can have the conversation with your neighbors on the block. So we have a week, November 13th through the 19th, to learn, hone our own skills, and take action. LAversushate.org is your resource. Again, I believe, fundamentally, it's our collective responsibility to join in this fight against otherism, because it is so evident throughout history that we are stronger together. I'm proud that my colleagues on the board made the declarative statement. I'm proud to have joined a board that in past years stated that LA County as a government would be an anti-racist entity. And we take action every day to practice that, practice anti-racism through a department that uses that lens in every action we take every budget action we take, every department head understands that they are expected to lead departments proactively that are actively anti-racist. So I think LA County is indeed practicing what we preach, and I'm proud of that. Thank you very much for the opportunity this morning.
Thank you, Supervisor. And I can just add to that, Supervisor Mitchell talked about the Anti-Racism, Diversity, and Inclusion Initiative. Really amazing work that was recently honored by the International Association of Official Human Rights Agencies. And it is the way that we here in LA County are making sure that it's not, as Supervisor Mitchell said, not just something that we pay lip service to, we actually are working to integrate it into our everyday operations here in LA County. So I'm very proud of that and proud of to be part of this government because of you. Let me now invite someone who represents a leader in our work, and that is Esther Lim, who is the Justice Deputy for Supervisor Hilda Solis, who was the one who made the motion in 2018 to launch the anti-hate program that has become LA versus Hate. And since that time, we've worked together to ensure that LA versus Hate can grow and be the source for so many people who before had no place to call, nowhere to get help when they experience an act of hate. And so it's, since that time, received over 1,600 calls and reports. And it is something that we know will be critical to ensuring that we know about acts of hate, and we are working together to help us heal from it and to change the conditions which gave a place for that hate to happen in the first place, whether it's a school, business, neighborhood, wherever it happens. So let me, with that, introduce to you Esther Lim.
Thanks so much, Robin. As Robin shared, my name is Esther Lim, and I serve as Supervisor Hilda Solis' Justice Deputy. She represents the 1st District. She sends her regards and her commitment to stand together with everyone here and the residents of LA County, united against hate, not just today or this week, but as long as hate continues to be part of our lives. In this era of polarization, mass shootings, and violence directed towards targeted communities, the County of Los Angeles is embarking on an effective campaign to address hate violence, including the utilization of art installation, touting messages of hope, safety, and for all inclusion. Hate has no place here or anywhere else, but beyond words alone in LA County, through the work of the Commission of Human Relations LA versus Hate, with its numerous community partners, we aim to surround our survivors with resources, services, and the comfort of knowing that they are not and will not be alone on their path to healing and justice. Supervisor Solis continues to be committed to this work, as evidenced by her consistent advocacy and leadership, to ensure that the LA versus Hate work has ongoing and sustainable support from the county. Hate against one is hate against all. We're not going to cower in the face of ignorance, racism, prejudice, and cowardice. Rather, we're going to stand up together against it. In closing, Supervisor Solis sends her deepest gratitude to Robin, the Executive Director of the Human Relations Commission, his team who put this event together, and the numerous community service providers who are serving survivors of hate across the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther, and thank you, Supervisor Solis. I'd like to introduce now someone who is an honorary co-chair of United Against Hate Week, and that is the President and CEO of the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce, Maria Salinas. Maria.
Thank you very much. And I'm so proud to be here and to stand with this coalition to be addressing something that is so important and critical for all of us, but especially in the business community. When you think of businesses and how it's a forum, it's the place where individuals convene, business owners and employees alike. It has to be the place where there is zero tolerance for hate. It has to be the beginning and the starting point for that all. About 4 years ago, the Chamber adopted a vision that said a thriving region for all. And about a month ago, the board got together, and in light of the activities of the things that we saw in halls of political, the political organizations here and freeway overpasses, and the board reaffirmed its commitment to a thriving region for all. In LA County alone, not only do we have large organizations, but we have about 90% of our businesses that are small employers that have no more than 20 employees. Those organizations need to be empowered to be able to fight hate. And so we are proud to be here with this coalition. The Chamber is committed to supporting businesses to stay abreast of changing business practices to make strategic, employee-centered investments which promote business growth and advance employees' economic opportunities. LA versus Hate, United Against Hate Week, supports the Chamber's goals. With these goals in mind, we join this diverse coalition. This program aims to inspire people to stand up to hate in all forms, from the workplace biases motivated by bullying to inequitable workplace practices. The aim is to build understanding among employers and employees about what constitutes a hate act, how to report them, and how to address them. Together, the LA versus Hate, United Against Hate Week promises that LA County businesses and employers can build respectful and resilient workplaces. The LAversusHate.org organization has toolkits, has events planned for this week, and we're proud that the LA Chamber will be part of some of these events to really bring light to what are those tools and techniques that we all need to have to ensure that we are addressing this and that we have the right messages for businesses and employees alike. Our goal is that we continue to address bias of all types and ensuring equitable hiring, inclusive leadership, and training tomorrow's business leaders to ensure that there's a sense of belonging, of equity, to really take advantage of the diversity that is Los Angeles, the richness of that diversity that really will one day create that thriving region for all. So we're committed to this coalition. We're excited to be here to participate with all these partners to address this hate. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Maria, so much. The vision of LA versus Hate and United Against Hate Week is to see one day all of the businesses in LA County having signage that makes it clear to any customer that hate is not tolerated in that place, and to provide training to all the employees so that they know what to do to intervene and speak out when it happens. And we know that will create a much safer environment for all of us. So we are happy to partner with you towards that goal. Now I want to introduce another honorary co-chair of United Against Hate Week. It's the superintendent of the Los Angeles County Office of Education, Dr. Deborah Duardo.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos días y bienvenidos. It's such a pleasure to be here with everyone and to join this effort in fighting against hate. Like many of the speakers who have spoken before me have stated, our strength in LA County is our diversity. That's what makes us who we are and makes us stronger. With a county of 10 million residents, from so many different cultures, speaking different languages with different traditions, religious beliefs. That is the strength that we have here in LA County, and that's what we're trying to teach in our schools. Not just about tolerance, but about celebrating and being excited to learn about people from different cultures and different places. I'm really proud that in California, we are the first state in the nation to make ethnic studies a requirement for graduation. So yes, that means that starting in the 2025 school year, those students will be required to learn not only about their own culture, but about the culture, the contributions that everyone has made to this country. So that's really exciting. We're really proud to be a part of this campaign to stand up to hate, to build on an understanding of what constitutes an act of hate, making sure that our children understand, that all of our teachers and anybody who steps foot on a school campus understands that hate will not be tolerated, how to identify it, and how to report it. So we're excited to be a part of this campaign. We're getting the posters out. We're talking to our students. And the thing that we all have to remember is it starts very early on, right? Because hate is a learned behavior, right? So what some of the work that we have to do in our schools very early on is unteach what some of our children have been taught. And I want to remind parents that are out there listening to remember that your children are always watching and listening to everything that you say. So this is a wonderful opportunity to teach your children not to hate, to love, to celebrate the diversity that we have here in LA County. Thank you. Gracias.
Thanks so much, Dr. Eduardo. I just wanted to mention that, we, as part of our LA versus Hate, have launched Dream Resource Centers in many of our schools. And we really hope to create that safe space so young people who are targeted for hate and bullying have a place to go where they feel safe and where they can get help. And I think that that's something that we hope that can be spread throughout our LA County schools. And I know Dr. Eduardo and LACO is a critical partner in that work. So thank you for being here. Now I'd like to introduce to you the District Attorney of Los Angeles County, George Gascon. I just want to say that DA Gascon has been a partner of ours to address hate crimes for a very long time. And he's someone that I have had the pleasure to know way before he became District Attorney, when he was an LAPD top brass, and even then I realized that he was someone who was willing to be courageous and stand against the tide and stand up for people's rights. So I'm very glad to have him with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin, and good morning, everyone. And I want to thank Supervisor Mitchell for her leadership in this area, Supervisor Solis, our educators, our business community, and you, Robin, and the Human Relations Commission. The partnership that we started, in fact, earlier this year, we began to put together community dialogues around hate. And we just held our first dialogue a few weeks ago in the Koreatown with our AAPI community, and we're continuing to go around the county. But there are some fundamental things that are going on in our community that I think are important that we use them as an example of how to move forward. Recently we heard elected officials speaking in very hateful manner concerning the politics of the city, how they wanted to move forward. And during that conversation, my name came up. And there was a statement made that said that I, quote unquote, stand with the blacks. And it was interesting because I was reading that and I was disappointed and shocked. But then I said, it is very true. I stand with the black community. But I also stand with the Latino community, the AAPI community, LGBT community, the Jewish community, any other community that is vulnerable, and it needs to make sure that we stand with them. But the disappointing part of this, actually, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. And that light was that my phone started to ring off the hook. I started to get calls from people around the community, even people that normally would not have reached out to me, to say that not only that they stood with the black community, but that they also stood with every other community. And that to me was not only an affirmation, but that also was a clear understanding for me that while we have some people that will still peddle in the politics of scarcity, in the politics of division, the majority of the people in our community are heading in a different direction. And for that, I'm very grateful and I'm very hopeful. We are working to ensure that we will educate our community concerning hate. We will work with our community to prevent hate. And when necessary, we will enforce the law to ensure that those that engage in criminal, hateful conduct would be held accountable. But all of that can only happen when we all come together. And I have to tell you that in the last few weeks, I came to realize that there are so many people in our community that are willing to stand up. And there are people of every color, every religion, every persuasion. So I feel very grateful. I'm very hopeful for our community. And thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, DA Gascon. And I want to say that we're very aware that acts of hate need to be responded to, not only for the victim, but also the person that carries out or engages in that act of hate. And we know that it's not about putting everyone in jail. It's about creating alternative, meaningful consequences and transformative experiences so that we can take that person off the path of hate. And I'm really looking forward to working with DA Gascon in making sure that we have those really novel and innovative programs that can turn the tide of hate that has infected so many people. I now have the pleasure of introducing to you the former mayor of Manhattan Beach and a founder of the South Bay Community Coalition Against Hate, and that is Hilda Stern. Hilda.
Thank you, Robin. And thank you for inviting me to join with this impactful group of leaders who are stalwarts for advocating for the rights and safety of every single one of us. I've sought guidance from the LA versus Hate several times over the last several years, and I so greatly appreciate the work that LA versus Hate does. In Manhattan Beach, I'm proud to be the founding member of the South Bay Community Coalition Against Hate, and am joined by a cross-section of our community leaders, including the school district, the city, our business community, faith-based organizations, public safety, health advocates, and the county leaders. Our coalition addresses the prevalence of hate incidents that we have seen with increased frequency and intensity over the last year that has permeated our schools, our homes, and in our public spaces. Although we know this is not unique to Manhattan Beach, we also know that each incident, each time our students feel vulnerable on our school campuses, each time our residents feel accosted by hateful messages distributed through flyers or painted on public property, each time a prominent public personality or official spews hateful words, we are anxious, terrified, and vulnerable. But when I look around this area, I know we are not alone. That gives me strength and fills me with hope. The mission of our coalition is to address hate incidents in our community through programs that educate, raise awareness, and support apprehension to decrease the incidence of hate and foster a sense of belonging. We launched our programming during this important United Against Hate Week with a community-wide event last Sunday, November 13th, with activities to raise awareness and bring our community together. On Tuesday, November 15th, we invite all in our community to attend the free screening of a documentary, Race to Be Human, which will be followed by a panel discussion. And on Friday, November 18th, we encourage everyone to join in a silent moment of reflection at 9:31 a.m. to think about how we can positively support others in our community. When we start our day with positive intention, we carry that intention with us in our everyday actions and improve our connections, interactions, and our well-being. Finally, we are distributing lawn and window signs that proudly state, Manhattan Beach stands united against hate. The Manhattan Beach United Against Hate awareness campaign is the first of many activities the Coalition will introduce to combat hate. The Coalition will continue to bring educational and awareness programs to our community while also working with the Manhattan Beach Police Department to hold any individuals who have committed a hate crime accountable for their actions. Hate has no borders or boundaries, and I know I stand with each of you in our mission to stand up for the safety and well-being of our community. Hate will not get the better of us because together, united, we are better than that. When we stand in solidarity with each other, we foster a sense of hope and strength for our community and ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilda. I wanted to also point out that, among the laws that prohibit hate crime here in California, there are also federal laws that are so critical in the fight against hate as well. And we have federal partners that are critical to our work. And so we have one today who is from the U.S. Attorney's Office, Central District of California, which is the jurisdiction we're in. That person is Martin Estrada. So thank you, Martin, for being here. Why don't you come say a few words?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Martin Estrada. I'm the U.S. Attorney for Los Angeles. It's a pleasure to be here, an honor to be here. You see the support we have behind us. It really shows a unity against hate, which is critical to our mission. This work and the goal of this week is to bring communities together to promote inclusion, equity, and safety. This week also provides us an opportunity to listen, to share resources, and take specific actions to address the rise in hate incidents and hate crimes. As the Chief Federal Law Enforcement Officer for this district, I'm disturbed by the rise in hate acts. It's imperative that we work together and marshal all of our resources to make sure hate is identified, reported, and prevented in our communities. And, when necessary, prosecuted to the full extent of the law. My office has repeatedly investigated hate crimes, and we have held accountable those who engage in unlawful acts of hate. As part of our efforts, I'm pleased to announce today the start of an initiative. The Department of Justice has launched an initiative called United Against Hate. As part of this initiative, we'll be convening local forums that connect community groups to federal, state, and local partners. The purpose of these initiatives is to increase understanding and reporting of hate crimes and hate incidents, to build trust between law enforcement and our community, and to create and strengthen alliances between law enforcement, government actors, and the community. This week, my office will be co-hosting two such programs, which I want to highlight for you. First, on Wednesday, my office will partner with the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office for a virtual program called United Against Hate LGBTQ+ Town Hall. The program will cover topics such as the difference between hate crimes and hate incidents, the importance of reporting unlawful acts of hate, and distinguishing between unlawful conduct and protected First Amendment activity. The second program we are doing this week will be a co-host of a webinar with the Los Angeles County Chamber of Commerce as part of the Small Business Strong webinar series to help small business owners have a better understanding of hate crimes and how to report acts of hate occurring in our region. My office has long recognized that community outreach is fundamental to the Department of Justice's goal of preventing hate crimes. Simply put, we cannot do the work that we do each and every day without the input and support of the community. Community outreach is critical to our mission to protect and defend the rights and interests of every resident of this district. Therefore, I look forward to continuing to engage with community members. Our communities are safer when we stand united in the fight against hate. Thank you for your attention to this key initiative.
Thank you, Martin Estrada. I also wanted to note that, we are all standing here in the sun, getting more sun than probably we wanted. But I would just point out that's just one of the many sacrifices that our community makes to fight hate. Let me now introduce to you Dr. Shawn Landres. He's Chair Emeritus of the Los Angeles Quality and Productivity Commission, a wonderful entity that helps support county departments to do innovative work. And he is also a United Against Hate Week co-chair. A wonderful partner and friend, Shawn Landres.
Thank you, Robin. So I'm here as a co-chair of United Against Hate Week, but there are really three reasons I'm here. I'm here because my mother escaped the Holocaust and survived World War II and came to this country thanks to people who reached out across lines of racial, religious, ethnic, and other difference. That's why I'm here. I'm here because as a longtime civic volunteer in our community for the County of Los Angeles, the City of Santa Monica, the Santa Monica-Malibu Unified School District, and other agencies and nonprofits, I've made it my work to advance those connections across lines of difference, to make sure that our public processes and our public bodies are as diverse and inclusive and representative and respectful and dignified as they possibly can be. And it's been my pleasure in the past to partner with Robin and his team on an initiative called Civruta, which actually provided training, including bystander and upstander training, for what we do when in those moments of public, how we encourage people to be on public boards and commissions in their full selves, and what we do when hate emerges in those settings, and how we don't let hate distract us from the critical work that we are doing by giving it more power than it deserves. And I'm here for a third reason, which is that as the chair a few years ago of the LA County Quality and Productivity Commission, which oversees the nation's oldest and largest public innovation fund, public sector, local government innovation fund, we were able to provide some of the first funding to LA versus Hate. And it is truly an innovative program that identifies not only where hate is occurring, but more importantly, what we can do here and now for the people who are fighting hate and responding to problems, because bullying, discrimination in housing, discrimination in jobs, other forms of hate really occur in a context. They occur in a context where the County of Los Angeles is able to provide all kinds of services to people, whether it's child support or job training or other forms of economic development or educational support, social work. The range of what the county does is extraordinary, and it's why I want to lead to my comment here, which is that I'm so proud of the coalition that Robin and Terry V. McDowell and Dana Kaufman at Task Force and so many others have built with this extraordinary coalition, this community-wide coalition of which we are all just a part, because all of us are LA versus Hate. All of us are United Against Hate Week, which cannot end on November 19th. We have to stay united every single day of the year. And why? Because hate is like rust. It corrodes. When we leave it, it corrodes, it corrodes, it corrodes, and ultimately it corrodes our democracy. It corrodes our democratic institutions. It corrodes the lives that we are trying to build. So I'm here because it's personal. It's for myself. It's for my family. It's for my community, my daughters, my neighborhood, my country, my state, my county. Thank you for all you are doing. Thanks to our elected leaders who are carrying this forward from the U.S. government to the state of California, to the County of Los Angeles, our cities, our school districts, our water districts, all of the communities that are coming together across the wide range, our nonprofits, our philanthropies. This is all of us. And if we're not all in it together, then we're not doing the work. And today, this week, is about doing the work and moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Shawn. Well said. I now have the pleasure to introduce another co-chair of United Against Hate Week, and that is Dean Chalak Richards, Dean of Student Life, Diversity, and Belonging at the Pepperdine Caruso School of Law. Dean Chalak.
Thank you, Robin. Good morning. As mentioned, my name is Chalak Richards. I'm Dean of Students, Diversity, and Belonging at Pepperdine Law, and it's my honor to be here because, as so many have said, from our DA to our representative of our DOJ, supervisors, elected officials, we must take a stand against hate, and we also recognize that the justice system is an integral part of that. For too long, when people experience hate, it corrodes, as my co-chair said, their trust in the fact that the system will be there for them. And so at the law school, we are bringing our students together to train them before they even walk across and take the California bar, before they are licensed, before they join institutions of trust, that right now, even as they gain their knowledge, they must filter it through a lens that is anti-racist and anti-hate. They must learn the law in a way that is going to empower them, to empower communities, and restore trust in the justice system. I'm honored that one of the ways we've been able to do that is to partner with several other area law schools. I must give recognition to Southwestern Law School, to UCLA School of Law, USC School of Law, and Loyola, where we've been able to put aside the competition that can come among institutions and say that it is more important that all of our students recognize the important weight that their ability to practice law gives them in this community. And so we have launched street law clinics that stand against hate. We had our first training 2 weeks ago, and this week we are sending students out to various schools across the community to train students and their families on what it looks like to recognize hate, to stand against it in a way that involves their legal abilities as well as what resources they can turn to make sure that action is taken on their behalf. These will not end this week. We will continue these throughout the year because we recognize that hate doesn't sleep, unfortunately. Some of us said earlier in chatting that we wished hate would end in our lifetime. We believed it would end in our lifetime. Now we may not have as much hope. But if I can end by telling you what gives me hope, it's going to that law school every day and seeing students who are passionate about ending hate within their lifetimes. Students who are Christian, Jewish, Muslim, who come together in interfaith dinners and talk about how they can find communities of commonality rather than difference. Students who are leaders in our Black Law Students Association, Asian Pacific American Law Students Association, National Latinx Law Students Association, who say, rather than focusing, as so many have done, on the differences of our ethnicities, how can we find those commonalities that say that all of our people together are stronger than what comes against us? That is what United Against Hate means. That is why it starts with a week, but continues throughout the year. And that is why we will see the end of hate, whether it's in our halls of administration, to the halls of justice, to our businesses. We know that when we come together against hate, all of us will be stronger. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Richards. That was beautiful. I wanted to just wrap us up by giving you an opportunity to ask questions, but before that, I just wanted to just take a moment to thank everyone who's here today, who've spoken and who's not spoken, who is really here to show the solidarity of so many, not just them, but their organizations and so many in the communities out there that are with us, that we are indeed stronger together and that we need to make that clear to the world. So please do take some action. Go to the website, download a message, a digital art. We have so many different ones. Spread the word through Facebook, Twitter, other Instagram, whatever your social media is, and really think about what can happen in this coming year that is going to be transformative of your world, of your community, your family, and our county here, which really deserves this movement against hate. So with that, thank you everybody who's here. And thank you those who have joined us. También hablo español y puedo entretener preguntas en español. But for any of us here, if there are any questions from the media, this is the time. Desgraciadamente han sido muchos años, desde 2014, que hemos visto un aumento, pero realmente se dispuso claramente que era sin parar, era no arriba y abajo, sino arriba cada año. Y desgraciadamente estamos todavía viendo esa dirección de los informes de crímenes de odio, pero a la vez sabemos que hay mucho más informes, mucho más gente llamando, reportándolo a 211, pero también a través del sitio del Internet, LA versus Hate. Entonces, sin embargo, tenemos que hacer algo mucho más fuerte que hemos estado haciendo, reconociendo que existe el odio, que existe el prejuicio dentro de nuestras comunidades y, por lo tanto, tenemos que juntarnos y tomar acción. Y por eso estamos aquí ahora. I'll invite anyone else who wants to answer in Spanish.
Desde luego, primero que nada quiero decir que cuando esos comentarios fueron hechos, una de las partes que estas personas no discutieron es que yo llevo muchos años peleando por proteger a la comunidad latina, por proteger a la comunidad inmigrante en Arizona, peleando con los antiinmigrantes aquí en Los Ángeles. Pero lo que fue muy interesante es que después que sucedió esto, es que hubieron muchos líderes de la comunidad latina que normalmente no serían personas que yo tengo relaciones directas, que empezaron a comunicarse conmigo para decirme varias cosas. Y una de las cosas que fue muy claramente es de que ellos no están de acuerdo con los comentarios que oyeron, que ellos entienden que no solamente es importante para la comunidad latina que nosotros seamos un líder en traer a todos juntos, pero que ellos también apoyan a la comunidad afroamericana, a la comunidad asiática, a la comunidad LGBTQ. O sea, sé que yo vi un nivel de madurez muy grande en la comunidad latina y lo vi no solamente personas que están involucradas en el gobierno, lo vi personas que están involucradas en negocios, en muchachos jóvenes, sobre todo la juventud. Vi un apoyo en la juventud muy grande y estoy hablando ahora específicamente de la juventud latina, porque desde luego que la juventud afroamericana inmediatamente vino mi apoyo, pero para mí fue muy importante oír a los muchachos latinos hablar de una manera muy clara de que esos comentarios no representaban a nuestra comunidad. Y eso me da a mí mucha esperanza y francamente me da un empuje muy grande para continuar el trabajo que estamos haciendo. Y yo creo que es importante que los medios de habla español comuniquen este mensaje claramente a nuestra comunidad, porque nuestra comunidad es mucho mejor que eso y nuestra comunidad es parte de una comunidad mucho más grande, que no solo somos los que venimos de Latinoamérica, pero somos los que venimos de África, los que venimos de, que somos judíos, que somos de otras partes, porque todos juntos tenemos que estar todos juntos para poder triunfar. Y la comunidad nosotros sabemos que es muy diversa también. Nosotros dentro de la comunidad latina tenemos personas que son de descendencia africana, tenemos judíos, tenemos personas que vienen de China y de otras partes. O sea, hace que yo creo que también una parte que a veces no se habla es que la comunidad latina verdaderamente es la diversidad de toda nuestra comunidad. Gracias. Bueno, desde luego sabemos que la comunidad latina, la comunidad afroamericana específicamente, las comunidades pobres son muchas veces el enfoque de las autoridades, sobre todo de la policía, a veces en maneras que son discriminatorias, ¿verdad? Y parte de ese trabajo es un trabajo que estamos continuando, estamos viendo que mi oficina está trabajando muy cerca con los jefes de policía en la región, esperamos que con el alguacil de pronto, para precisamente empezar a comunicar diferente a nuestra comunidad. La policía necesariamente es parte íntegra de la seguridad pública y nuestra comunidad tiene que tener confianza en la policía se tiene que ganar esa confianza y también mi oficina, francamente, muchas veces yo he oído personas que están disgustadas con la manera en que mi oficina ha desempleado su labor, en formas que a veces no son las formas que diría yo que son las más sensibles a las cuestiones de la necesidad de la comunidad latina. O sea, sé que hay mucho trabajo que tenemos que hacer, pero yo creo que el futuro es bastante brillante y yo veo muchas señales de que tanto la policía como la comunidad, como otros en nuestra comunidad estamos dispuestos a trabajar juntos para traer una realidad diferente. Y ese punto que estás haciendo es muy importante, es algo que nosotros, y yo sé que Robin también lo hace comúnmente, su estado migratorio no tiene ninguna implicación en nuestro trabajo. Nosotros queremos que todos los residentes del condado se sientan cómodos, ya estén aquí con estado migratorio autorizado o no. Eso no tiene ninguna implicación en nuestro trabajo. Nosotros estamos haciendo mucho trabajo de comunicación, sobre todo con las comunidades inmigrantes de Los Ángeles, porque no solamente la comunidad latina, pero también sabemos que, por ejemplo, las comunidades asiáticas hay muchas personas que no tienen documentos. Sabemos que hay comunidades de Etiopía, de África, que tampoco tienen documentos. O sea, sabemos que este es un problema que no es solamente para la comunidad latina, y yo creo que es importantísimo que ustedes en los medios en español, sobre todo, que le comuniquen eso claramente a nuestra gente, de que ellos pueden venir, que ellos se pueden reportar. Inclusive mi oficina está en el proceso ahora de que vamos a promulgar una nueva política de cómo lidiamos con asuntos migratorios para asegurarnos de cualquier resolución que nosotros hacemos un caso, siempre siempre esté midiendo las consecuencias del estatus migratorio de una persona. Gracias.
Y también por parte de las autoridades federales, que las víctimas no tengan papeles o no tengan estado legal en este país. No tiene que ver que si pueden reportar y ser víctimas. Eso es importante que la comunidad sepa eso, porque las víctimas que tengan papeles legales, que no tengan, no importa. Son víctimas, importante para nosotros que ellos reporten los crímenes. Usted también preguntó sobre el aumento de los actos de odio en este condado. Sí ha aumentado en este condado, pero no solo aquí en este condado, sino que en todo el país. Y eso es algo muy importante para el Departamento de Justicia. Nosotros vemos en todo el país que se aumentan los actos de odio, crímenes de odio, y nosotros estamos dispuestos a usar nuestros recursos para atacar esos crímenes. Pero eso no es suficiente. Necesitamos que la comunidad, que la gente reporte y trabaje con nosotros para que podamos combatir estos actos de odio. Sí, cómo no. Por supuesto, primero, que no se involucran en actos de odio, primero. Y segundo, que lo reporten a las autoridades locales, estatales y federales. Si nosotros tenemos esos reportes, podemos actuar. Pero sin esos reportes, no tenemos la habilidad de actuar.
Quisiera añadir una cosa más. Nosotros ya supimos que mucha gente nos reporta ser víctima de odio, un delito de odio o un incidente de odio, porque no tienen la confianza de ir a la policía. Por eso nosotros creamos ese sistema de reportar que es de 211 y de ir al sitio del Internet. Y es por eso que tenemos tantos reportes de odio que no se aparezcan en los informes de odio de la policía. Entonces somos muy conscientes de eso y nosotros nunca lo hacemos completamente de confianza. Cuando la gente llama, no preguntamos eso, su estado migratorio, y damos la opción si quieren ser público en su información o si quieren hacer contacto con la policía. Tienen la opción. Eso es súper importante para el éxito de este programa, porque sabemos que mucha gente, es por eso que no llamen a la policía, no reporten el crimen de odio.
I just want to add, forgive me for not speaking in Spanish, but I also think it's important for people who speak English to hear this. This dates back for many, many years, but it started getting worse in January of 2017. And those of us who work in social services, who work in the county, who work in our cities, became painfully aware that huge portions of our community, the residents of Los Angeles County, felt unsafe speaking to law enforcement because of a change in the environment in our country. And many of us dedicated ourselves. Supervisor Mitchell has been a leader in this. DA Gascon has been a leader in this. President Biden has been a leader in this, in rethinking how we provide services to all residents of LA County, because we all count. And that's why the 211 system was so important when we were first approached in the commission for LA versus hate, because 211 does not care, and I really want to repeat this for anybody who's writing this up, 211 does not care whether or not you have papers. It does not care. What it cares about is that you get the assistance and the support that you need. It could start with a call about bullying. It could turn into a call about child support, rent subsidies, social services, anything else that you as a resident who matters to all of us needs in order to survive and thrive in 2022. So I just want to stress, this program works because people pick up the phone if they see hate, if they're on the wrong end of hate, pick up the phone, call 211 and report it and have that conversation, because this team and others will be there to support you today, tomorrow, and in the coming years.
Thank you, Shawn. So I just wanted to wrap things up. You can continue questions, but we have something here called our wish tree. And that is where we're asking all of us here today to actually make a wish, express a desire that we want to see become reality, so that we can stand united against hate during this week and beyond. So inviting all of us here to do that, and invite all of you to do that as well. But let me just end by thanking you all for being here. And we look forward to your continuing coverage of all the amazing United Against Hate Week activities that are going on this week. Thank you.